Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. In this video, we will write the program for moving a robot. Now, since a robot has two motors, that is a left motor and a right motor, we have to move both the motors in order to move the robot in different directions. So, in this video, we will write the program for moving the robot in the forward direction. So first, I'll delete these comments in the void setup. Now, in the previous videos, we have basically done the connection of our Arduino to the motor driver, and we have connected the pins in such a way that pin number 3 and 4 will control the left motor and pin number 5 and 6 will control the right motor. So inside the void setup, I will first define those 4 pins. So I will write pin mode 3, output. Next I'll copy this line 4 times and I'll change pin number 3 to 4, 5 and 6. Next I'll just write a small comment over here. So for pin number 3 and 4 I'll write here left motor, and for pin number 5 and 6 I'll write here right motor. So my void setup code is complete. Next I will move inside the void loop. Now inside the void loop, since I want to move the robot in the forward direction, so to move the robot in the forward direction, I need to move both the DC motors in the forward direction. And if you guys remember, for moving the robot forward, the condition is high, low. That is, I will write high on one pin and I will write low on the other pin. So in the void loop, I'll first write digital write 3, high, and then digital write 4, low. Similarly, if I want to move the right motor in the forward direction, I will again write high on pin number 5 and low on pin number 6. Next, if you want, you can put a short delay over here. I will just put a short delay of 2000. But even though we have given a delay of 2000, this delay will not execute, because when we run the program, since the program is in a void loop, the program will come to the last line, that is delay 2000, and again it will start executing from the top. So this program will keep on executing again and again, and in this program our motors will continuously move in the forward direction. So guys, I basically finished with the program. If I run through the program once, in the void setup I've defined 4 pins, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pin number 3 and 4 for the left motor, pin number 5 and 6 for the right motor. Next, inside the void loop, I am writing high on pin number 3 and low on pin number 4, thus making the left motor go forward, and I am writing high on pin number 5 and low on pin number 6, so that the right motor also go forward, and when both the motors go forward, my robot will thus go forward. Now guys, even though we have finished writing the program, please do not upload the program on the Arduino, because when you upload the program on the Arduino, you will get 3 different types of output. What are those outputs? I'll be explaining you in the next video. So first I'll click on verify to check for errors. So I'll save this program. I'll give this a name of time control robot, and then I'll hit save. So guys, as you can see, the program is compiled and there are no errors in the code. Now in the next video, I'll show you what are the 3 different types of output that you will get. Now, in the previous video, we have written the program for moving a robot in the forward direction, but we haven't uploaded the program in the Arduino yet. The reason why I haven't uploaded the program is because after uploading the program in your robot, you will get 3 different types of output. In the first case, both the motors will go forward. In the second case, one motor will go forward and the other motor will go backward. In the third case, both your motors will go backward. Now, let me explain you why do we get these different types of output. So guys, when we connected the DC motor wires to the output socket of the motor driver, during that time we have just connected the 2 wires of the motor to the 2 holes of the motor driver circuit. The DC motors that we have consist of one positive pin and one negative pin. Similarly, the motor driver also consists of one positive socket and one negative socket. Now, if you have connected the positive wire from the DC motor to the positive socket of the motor driver and the negative wire of the DC motor to the negative socket, then when we write a command for going forward, that is high-low, the robot will go forward. But if you have connected the negative wire of the DC motor to the positive socket of the motor driver and the positive wire to the negative socket, then when you write a command of high-low, instead of going forward, the motors will go backward because the polarities are interchanged over here. So guys, before you upload the program in the Arduino, please lift the robot in such a way that the wheels are not touching the ground. And after uploading the program, just check which motor is going forward and which motor is going backward. Now, as per case 1, if both the motors are going forward, then you do not have to make any changes because you have connected the positive wire of the DC motor to the positive socket of the motor driver and the negative wire to the negative socket of the motor driver. According to case 2, if one of the motor is going backward and the other motor is going forward, then just check which motor is going backward and then you have to interchange the wires of that particular motor. Now guys, as you can see, since the left motor is going backward, I will interchange the wires in M1 and M2 socket. So I will remove the M1 wire and connect it to M2, and I will remove the M2 wire and connect it to M1. From the last case, if both the motors are going backward, then I will remove the M1 wire and connect it to M2. I'll remove the M2 wire and connect it to M1. Similarly, I will remove the M3 wire and connect it to M4. And I will remove the M4 wire and connect it to M3. After explaining you this logic, I will now upload the program and check the output. So guys, as you can see, after uploading the program, my robot motors are basically going in the forward direction, so I do not have to make any changes in the wire connection. And these motors will run continuously forward since we have written the program in a loop. Now, after checking the output, it is now time to set the robot free from the USB. So I'll first remove the USB. Next, I will connect the second battery sniper to the Arduino's DC jack connector and connect it to a 9V battery. So this time my robot will be powered by a 9V battery instead of the USB. Next, I will switch on the motor driver, and as you can see, my robot has just gone ahead. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In this video, we will write the program for moving the robot in the backward direction. So guys, in the previous video, I showed you the 3 possible outputs that you will get. So by the end of this video, the robot will move in the forward direction first for 2 seconds and then it will move in the backward direction for 2 seconds. So guys, if I want to move my robot in the backward direction, then I will write a condition of low on one pin and I will write a condition of high on the second pin. So after this delay 2000, I'll write digital write 3, low, digital write 4, high. So my left motor will now go backward when I write low on pin number 3 and high on pin number 5. Similarly, to make the right motor go backward, I will write digital write 5, low, and I will write digital write 6, high. And at the last, I'll put a delay of 2000. So guys, as you can see, I've basically finished with the program for moving the robot in the backward direction. So first, my robot will go forward for 2 seconds. After that, my robot will go backward for 2 seconds. And over here, I'll write a small comment. And the second piece of code is for going backward. Once I'm finished with the code, next I'll click on compile to check for errors. So as you can see, there are no errors in the code. After this, I'll click on upload to upload the program. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll explain you the different types of turns that a robot can take. Now, since a robot is a two-wheel robot, there are 2 types of turns that this robot can take, and these turns are called as axial turns and radial turns. So first, we will talk about what is an axial turn. In axial turn, one motor of the robot goes forward and the other motor of the robot goes backward. Now, if you want your robot to take an axial left turn, then the left motor should go backward. That is, we will write a condition of low high on the left motor, and the right motor should go forward. That is, we should write a condition of high low on the right motor. Similarly, if you want your robot to take an axial right turn, then the right motor should go backward, that is low high, and the left motor should go forward, that is high low. Now, after understanding axial turns, next let's look at radial turn. So, in radial turn, one motor of the robot will stop and the other motor of the robot will move. Now, since in radial turn we have to stop one motor and move another motor, the motor that is stopped acts like the center of circle and the moving motor acts like the outermost part of the circle. And since the distance between both the motors represent a radius, that's why we call this turn as radial turn. Now, if you want your robot to take a radial left turn, then the left motor will stop. That is, we have to write a condition of high high or low low on the left motor, and the right motor will move forward, that is high low. Similarly, if you want your robot to take a radial right turn, then the left motor will go forward, that is high low, and the right motor should stop, that is high high or low low. So guys, I hope from this video you would have understood the different types of turns that a two-wheel robot. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In this video we will write a program for taking axial turns. So if I want my robot to take an axial turn, then one motor should go backward and another motor should go forward. So first I will write the program for taking axial left turn. For taking axial left turn, I will move my left motor backward and I will move the right motor forward. So after the backward program, I will write over here digital right 3, low and digital right 4, high. So my left motor will go backward. Okay, I just made a small mistake over here. Okay, after that I'll just copy these two lines. I'll paste it here. Now, since I want to move the right motor forward, so for moving the right motor forward, I will now write 5, high and 6, low. So using this 4 lines of code, my robot will take an axial left turn. After that, I'll put a short delay of 1000 seconds. Next, I'll copy these 5 lines of code and I'll paste it over here. And now I will modify this code so that my robot will take an axial right turn. So if I want my robot to take an axial right turn, then in axial right turn, I'll move the left motor forward and I'll move the right motor backward. So for moving the left motor forward, I'll write high on pin number 3, low on pin number 4, I'll write low on pin number 5 and high on pin number 6. Similarly, I'll put a comment over here, axial left turn, and this will be axial right turn. So guys, I basically finished with the program. So now my robot will take axial left and right turns for 1 second. Next, I'll click on compile to check for errors. So as you can see, there are no errors in the program. After that, I'll click on upload to upload the program. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In this video, we will write the program for taking radial turns. Now, in radial turns, we basically stop one motor and we move the other motor. So first, I will write the program for taking a radial left turn. And I will remodify this axial left turn program to get the radial left turn output. Now, since I want to take a radial left turn, I will stop the left motor and I will move the right motor forward. So to stop the left motor, I will write low low on pin number 3 and 4, and I will keep the code of high low as it is, okay, so that my right motor can go forward. Next, I will change the comment to radial left turn. After this, I will write the program for taking a radial right turn. So in a radial right turn, we will move the left motor forward and we will stop the right motor. So from this code, I will change the last line of code which says 6, high, and I'll make this 6, low. So I'll copy the radial text and I'll paste it here. So guys, I basically finished with the radial left and radial right turn program. But I won't click on the compile button directly over here, because if I click on the compile button, then the Arduino IDE will overwrite your previous program. So I basically want to keep the axial turn program as well as the radial turn program. So for that, I'll first click on File, I'll click on Save As, and then after the time control robot, I will just extend it by saying radial turns. Okay, and then I'll click Save. So now if you see, in this time control robot program, I have written the program for going forward, backward and taking axial turns. And in this time control robot radial turns, I have written the program for going forward, backward, taking a radial left turn and taking a radial right turn. Next, I will now click on compile to check for errors. After this, I'll click on upload. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In this video, we will write the program for stopping the robot. Now, if we want to stop the robot, then we have to write a condition of high on all the 4 pins, or we have to write a condition of low on all the 4 pins. So first, I'll copy this piece of code, that is the radial right turn code, and then I'll paste it here. And now, since I want to stop the robot, I will write low on all the 4 pins, and instead of giving a delay of 1 second, I'll give a delay of 5000. If you want, you can also write a condition of high on all the 4 pins and check the output. So guys, I've basically finished with the stop program. So next, I will just comment over here by saying stop. After this, I'll click on compile the program to check for errors. So as you can see, there are no errors. Next, I'll click on upload. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In the previous video, we have written the program for stopping a robot. But when we check the output, so during that time, the robot was going forward for 2 seconds, it was going backward for 2 seconds, it was taking a radial left turn for 1 second, a radial right turn for 1 second, and then the robot stopped, but it only stopped for 5 seconds. And after the robot has stopped, it again started executing this program from the top, because this program is written inside a void loop. Now guys, if you want to permanently stop your robot, or if you want to execute this entire program of forward, backward, left, right and stop only once, then I will first cut this code. I'll cut it. So as you can see, I've cut the entire code from the void loop. Next, I will paste that piece of code inside the void setup. So guys, always remember, whenever you write any code inside the void setup, then that code will execute only once. And now if I run through the entire code once, so you can see over here, in the void setup, I have declared the 4 pins 3, 4, 5, 6 as output. Next, I'm moving the robot forward for 2 seconds, backward for 2 seconds. The robot will take a radial left and radial right turn for 1 second. After that, the robot will stop for 5 seconds, but since this program is written inside the void setup, the robot will basically stop permanently. And guys, at the last, as you can see, my void loop function is totally empty over here. So next, I'll click on verify. So as you can see, the compilation is done. There are no errors in the program. After that, I'll hit upload. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In the previous video, I showed you how to permanently stop the robot by writing the entire code in void setup Now guys, in this program, I'll show you how to declare a function and how to call the function. In this video, I'll also show you how to stop a robot by using a different technique. Now, before we declare or call a function, let me tell you why it is important to use functions in programming. So, if you look very carefully, currently my program has 5 particular conditions. First condition is forward, second condition is backward, third condition is radial left, fourth condition is radial right turn, and the last condition is for stop. Okay. Now, let's take a very simple example. Now, if suppose you want your robot to trace a square, then your robot should move something like this. It should first go forward for some second, then it should take a left turn. After that, it should again go forward for some seconds. Then it should again take a left turn. It will again go forward for some second. It should again take a left turn. And at the last, it will again go forward and it will stop at the starting position. Okay. So this is how your robot can trace a square. One way to write this program is you can write the forward condition of high low 4 times, and you can write the low low condition to take left turn 3 times, and the last condition will be to stop the robot. That is, all the 4 pins will be high or all the 4 pins will be low. But if we write the program in this manner, 4 conditions for forward and 3 conditions for left turn and 1 condition for stop, then the program will become very lengthy inside the void loop, and if the length of the program increases, the size of the program will also increase. This is not an ideal way to write any sort of a program. So basically, I'll create a new function called as forward, and I'll paste all these 4 lines inside that forward function. Similarly, I'll create new functions for backward, radial left, radial right, and for stop condition. So let's get started with the programming. After the void loop, that is outside the void loop, I'll first create a new function. I'll give it a name of void forward. Then I'll open and close a round bracket. After that, I'll open and close a curly bracket. Now this code that we have written of void forward is called as function declaration, or we can also call it as function definition, because we are defining a function over here. So I'm declaring the forward function just as we have declared the void loop and void setup function. Now inside this function, I'll write some code, and that code is to move the robot forward. So I'll cut this piece of code and I'll cut only the 4 lines of high low. Okay, I'll paste it here. Next, I'll delete this delay. Okay, I'll tell you later on why I'm not using the delay. Next, I'll cut this code. So I'll press Ctrl X. And I've not created or I've not declared a void backward function. So I'll declare a void backward function first. Next, I'll paste the backward condition in this. After that, I'll cut the radial left turn condition. I'll declare a radial left function and I'll paste the code for radial left turn. Next, I'll cut the radial right turn condition. I'll declare a function called as radial right. I'll paste the radial right turn condition over here. And at the last, I'll go in void setup again and I'll cut the condition for stopping the robot. I'll declare the void stop function over here. Okay, now guys, if you notice one thing very carefully, that when I was declaring void forward, void backward, void radial left, and void radial right function, so during that time all these functions are in black color and this void stop function is in orange color. So that basically means the stop command. So that basically means the stop command could be a predefined command or it could be some predefined function. Okay. So instead of using the word stop, I'll use some other word. So I'll use a word called as time stop, and inside the time stop, oh sorry, I've actually cut the stop condition, so I'll paste it again over here. Okay, and next I'll go in the void setup and I'll delete all the delay commands over here. Okay, I'll press backspace now. Now first, let me tell you why I have not put the delay command over here. Now, if I put the delay command in all the 4 conditions, and if you call the void forward function over here, then basically what will happen is, since this void forward function has a delay of 2000 milliseconds, that is 2 seconds, then the robot will only go forward for 2 seconds. So that's why I haven't put any delays inside the functions, because we can declare the delays separately. Now guys, after declaring the functions, next it's time to call the functions, and we will call these functions inside the void loop. So guys, as I discussed earlier, if you want your robot to trace a square, then it should first go forward. So inside the void loop, I'll first call the forward function, and to call the forward function, I'll just write forward. I'll open and close round brackets, and at the last, I'll put a colon over here. Okay, so when you write this term forward by opening and closing a round brackets after it and then putting a semicolon, then that basically means you're calling the forward function inside the void loop. So now inside the void loop, first high-low condition will execute, but since we want to trace a square, next I'll put some delay below the forward condition. So I'll give this a delay of 2000. Okay, so let's put a delay of 2000. After forward, I need to take a left turn. So for the left turn, I've declared a radial left function, and this is the function name of radial left. So I'll copy this function name. I'll press Ctrl C, and then I'll paste this function exactly below the delay. So now after delay 2000, I'm calling the radial left function. Now since I'll be taking a turn, so for taking a turn, the delay, there is no need to put a delay of 1000. I can just put a delay of 700. Okay, now you can try experimenting with a delay unless and until you get a proper 90-degree turn. Now after taking a left turn, I again need to move the robot forward. So I'll copy this code for forward because I'll be using it again and again. So after taking a left turn, I'll copy the code for forward. Next, I'll put a delay of 2000 again. After that, I'll again copy the radial because this will be my second radial left turn. Now guys, after taking this radial left turn, I'll again need to move the robot forward. So I'll write forward again, and I'll put a delay of 2000 over here again. Okay, I think typing the code is better than copying it. Next, I'll again write radial left. So I'll again call the radial left function. I'll put a delay of 700. And next, this will be the last forward condition in which my robot will be moving. So I'll again give this a delay of 2000. Okay, once the robot executes the last forward condition, I'll basically stop the robot. So to stop the robot, I'm using a function called as time stop. So I'll copy this function, that is time stop. I'll call this function exactly after the delay 2000. But guys, here's one more problem. I'm just declaring the time stop function at the end of the void loop. Okay, so even if I put a delay of 5000, the robot will only stop for 5 seconds, and after that the robot will again start executing the forward condition. So in this case, the robot will actually stop at the starting position of the square. That is, over here, it will stop at the starting position of the square, and once it stops at this position, the robot will again start moving forward. Okay, and this is something which we do not want to happen. So guys, as I told you at the start of the video, I'll also be showing you an alternate method to stop the robot. And that alternate method to stop the robot is by setting a delay of infinity. So after the time stop function, I'll set a delay, and I'll set this delay as infinity. So for infinity, I'll set the delay to 1/0. Okay, as 1/0 is an equation for infinity. So guys, basically when your robot executes the last forward condition of 2 seconds, it will stop at the starting point of the square, and this time the robot will stop infinitely, that is, it will never start again. So guys, I basically finished with this programming. If I go through this program once, so in this program we are actually moving the robot in a square. Now first I have declared the void setup. I have declared 4 pins 3, 4, 5, 6. Next I am declaring 5 functions: forward, backward, radial left, radial right, and time stop. After that, since I want to move the robot in a square, I'm first moving the robot forward for 2 seconds, then I'm taking a radial left turn for 0.7 seconds. Next, I'm again moving the robot forward. Next, I'm moving it left, forward, and then I'm using a delay of 1/0 with the stop function to stop the robot permanently. Now, after explaining you this program, next I'll save this program. So I'll click on File, I'll click on Save As, and I'll give this program a name of Time Control Robot Square. The reason why I did Save As is because I did not want to overwrite the Time Control Robot Radial Turns program. So once I'm done with this, next I'll click on Compile to check for errors in the program. So as you can see, there are no errors, and at the last I'll click on Upload.